Hello and welcome to the Devil's Trident podcast. I'm Simon. I'm here tonight with Matt once again.
Pronto!
What pronto?
That's Italian for hello.
Oh, very cultured. And do you have anything to match that, James, or are you just going to go straight up English?
I know a few words in Russian, but I don't want to frighten our listeners.
Okay. Gazprom!
That's exactly it. That means, hey there, whoa now.
It means sports drink, even though it's not a sports drink, is it? But you know,
Is it?
No, it's not. It's not a sport. It's not a sports drink. You just everybody just says.
I thought it was an oil company.
Yeah, it's like an energy company or something. Probably gas, I imagine.
Isn't there a team named after?
No, I think
a sponsor and or like a brand, and they have to call something different because of it.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's a team that's in the Europa League actually.
I don't know.
Red Bull Salzburg.
No, like
It's Zenit's. I think Zenit's ground's called the Gazprom Stadium.
I thought it was like something like in Hamburg. I think it was, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. Anyway, people always say a nice pint of Gazprom. You know, like when Champions League's on, even though it's not even a drink.
God, imagine that at the bar now.
A pint of Gazprom, please.
Ooh, really thick.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's this week's podcast. Nothing else to talk about here.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. No, United have thrown it away tonight. They've drawn 1-1 to AC Milan in a game where we didn't really deserve to win, I don't think. I mean, we got a decent goal after a pretty poor first half. I mean, in the second half we came out and got the goal, but then still didn't really kick on after that, did we? And AC Milan had plenty of chances, plenty of disallowed goals, and we were 30 seconds away from doing the job, but on the balance of things, did we really deserve the win?
Sorry, against what team? Milan or Milan?
AC Milan.
Say it like Ben Me.
Why are people calling him Milan?
Because they're more cultured than you.
That's what that really annoyed me this evening. I can't be doing with people calling him Milan. There's no. Where's the E? Where's the E? It's Milan.
Is that your analysis?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. No. Yeah, we 100%. If we'd have won that game, we wouldn't have deserved it at all. And did we deserve to draw it? Probably just about, I'd say. But I think anything, a win to us would have been a bit unjust. But it's frustrating for us though that we've managed to piss away a good lead.
Yeah, managed to mess it up right at the end. Probably, like I say, 30 seconds or so, and it would have had the job done. Whether a 1-0 lead to take to the San Siro is enough anyway is arguable. I mean, our away record. And Jonathan Ross has just joined us. Our away record is brilliant anyway, but
not the San Siro though.
Not the San Siro
against AC Milan apparently. I think it's different for Inter.
I can't remember.
I don't think it's great. I'm pretty sure they showed the stats after the game where we've not done very well overall against them.
Did we beat them 3-2 in that 2010 one? Because we won 4-0 at home, and it was 7-2 in aggregate, so that would make sense that we won 3-2 over there that time. But yeah, we lost in 2006-7. We won 3-2 at home, and then got dicked away, didn't we? But this is all light years ago now, isn't it? So
yeah, back when we were both powerhouses of Europe.
Just 14 years ago for that one. So yeah, it's a different prospect. Obviously, going away to Italy, to the San Siro with no fans is also a different prospect. But we've made life easier for Milan by giving them a goal right at the end, and now they've got their away goal to sit back with. So we need to go out there and score, and the injuries are mounting up.
It's not good. It's not a good set of affairs, and the game itself was a difficult watch. It's back to that thing again, just being difficult. I don't know what it is. Milan were good, credit to them. They sort of had a lot of bright spots in the game, and that was evidenced by the two disallowed goals, which obviously, I mean...
The first one was miles off.
Of course, first one was offside, but it was a bit of a... Well, see, it gets kind of drawn out, doesn't it? Because they will not raise that flag until they're done and ready. And we've just got to wait.
No, I will raise this when I'm ready. And no time before that.
Yeah, and it's sort of... I don't want to go on a rant about that, but just I'll keep it concise. But it's a bit annoying because you see, I mean, I'm pretty sure I could see he was offside, but the ball gets played over. The defenders even have that bit of a moment of he was behind us.
Well, our lot played on, didn't they? I mean,
they played on,
and they absolutely should do. They shouldn't have just stood there in case it wasn't offside. But yeah, Henderson went for it. Bailly and Maguire were chasing back as if he was onside, and he put it away nicely. So if he by any chance he wasn't offside, it's a decent finish. But go on. Yeah,
well, for a second there, you I don't know. In this day and age, you just second guessing yourself all the time. Did I really see that?
Bailly and Maguire, they should have realised he was offside though, because they were both stood in front of him.
No, I think
a decent amount.
No, I think you never did. But you have to cover yourself, don't you, and hedge your bets and. Like, what if they got it wrong and then they just both stood there and he scores? Unforgivable, innit? So
yeah,
you have to play on as if.
Yeah, but then you fall into that argument of like, well, why are we playing on when anything could happen in that moment where you're chasing a ball that you know is not actually worth anything?
Yeah, and that's the whole argument.
I could imagine if there's no VAR involved, I get that. Because you don't want to take the risk, but if you're clearly playing in a game where you know VAR is there, then why even risk it?
Yeah, but if
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I do too. In a world without VAR, then the linesman just flags straight away because he was right there. He could see it. So it's just nowadays, isn't it? They just do want to make completely sure, and you've got your fullbacks. You never quite. I'm often shocked when I see that someone stood behind the centre backs, and you think offside, but then. The fullback sort of cheekily at the bottom of the picture playing him on.
Yeah.
So you never quite know. Your eyes play tricks on you sometimes. But anyway, so Milan were quite good, but that first half was like sort of ponderous to make the best of it. Really, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I'll have a quick count up of our chances that I noted down. Anyway, I can't see many. So 1, 2.
Counting with Simon.
4.
Wait, was 3?
You did the laugh wrong.
I did the 3 in my head. Don't worry.
Oh right.
5. Yeah, maybe 5 at a push, but
I thought Unai Emery was back.
1.
Well, this was not a good evening.
It was not a good evening.
No, but yeah, it just wasn't very good, and I didn't enjoy it. And I thought same old. And I hate the fact that I think someone on Twitter pointed out that, and you'd have to be a genius to point it out, but apart from the City game, United haven't played very well for quite a bit now. Quite a few games where it's just these sort of turgid performances. And Milan, yeah, sure, okay, so that first disallowed goal was disallowed for good reason. Then you get another one where we'll talk about, but maybe less so. And you start to think that they're posing a threat, and they did. And they're all right, they're doing well in their league. Just because Zlatan isn't playing, it doesn't necessarily mean that, they're sort of a shadow of themselves. And
they've got their injuries. I mean, they've got their excuses lined up as much as we have. Mandzukic out as well. He's not
Forgot about him.
Yeah, he's not
there you go.
Not been there for long. Çalhanoğlu, is that how we say his name? I believe so.
Hakan Çalhanoğlu.
Okay.
He scored a 50-yard free kick. I think it was in his own half. Anyone who's listening who isn't aware of the Çalhanoğlu free kick from pretty much his own half, get that YouTubed. It is the keeper should just be able to catch it, really, in theory, but he doesn't. So a frustrating game.
Yeah, definitely. We had a decent chance early on. Martial with his left-footed volley after a Tellez cross, just ball to him, I suppose. That was a bright spark, and pretty much the only bright spark we had for, I would say, the first half an hour.
Yeah, to be fair, I got quite excited about that. I leapt out my seat when that happened because, that was phenomenal play by Martial.
He looked sharp again, didn't he? I thought.
That it's a shame he came off as well because obviously we don't really need the injuries at all. So yeah, Martial, that was probably. He was easily our best player on the pitch before he obviously came off. He looked the brightest, and he seemed to be doing quite a lot of running again, like we saw in the City game, and looked busy. But that technique of taking it on his chest and quickly turning and hitting it with his left, and I think he got just the right amount of connection to it, and it was a great save by the keeper. So I think it was we were unlucky not to have that as a goal, but Obviously, on another day, maybe it would have gone in, but Martial. This could have been. If he would have stayed in the pitch, this could have been a game where he could have really got back into his stride and got us a goal, which we obviously need him to do.
Yeah, I've not heard what Solskjaer said after the game. I think he was. I heard a bit of his interview, and I think he was basically saying that they hope they've got people back for the weekend / next week. But I don't know what he said about Martial in terms of how long he'll be out, because obviously he went off at half time, which is another worry to add to Rashford and Cavani, who were completely missing tonight. And
do you not think that was maybe him being a bit precautious? If Tony's got a bit of a knock and it's not anything too serious, but he doesn't want to agitate it, then you bring him off, because at this point, like we could still win the game.
Yeah,
by that point,
maybe that played into the fact that Bruno came off after 75 minutes as well, and Wan-Bissaka, when the game was far from wrapped up, we were 1-0 up, but it wasn't like 3-0 off, get Bruno 3-0 up, get Bruno off.
He's got one mind thinking about West Ham at the weekend, which is probably wise to think about, really, considering our injuries. I think it's the reason why I didn't start Fred as well today. Cause
considering the injuries it is, but also, it's an indication possibly of where his priority is. Like, does it feel the league's more important than the Europa League at this stage? Because it is a balancing act now, isn't it? With 10 games left in the league, you don't know really what is the focus just yet. I think we've got another couple of weeks before we really know, are we safe in the top 4? Or, are we out of the Europa League? Are we in the Europa League? But, just an interesting one that he did make the changes that he made and left out the people that he left out and stuff. And it probably is a nod to at least Sunday, if not next week, knowing that our numbers are kind of dwindling a little bit. They had another goal disallowed. This one was a bit more contentious, I think. Was it handball, you saying, James?
I've seen it a few times, and I I tend to agree that it is handball, because unless I'm missing something, because he gains an advantage by using, it seems like he uses a forearm to sort of control it. After the game, BT Sport would have you believe that some great injustice has been served to us. On first viewing, of course.
Were they saying that it wasn't handball, or that it didn't matter, that it was...
Jake Humphries pretty much implied that should have stood. Because again, BT Sport are brilliant at that.
I think they were putting it down, it was accidental.
Yeah, but I mean, accidental or not, if you gain an advantage, I don't know what the rules are anymore.
Well, what they're saying is, in July the rule changes.
Is it different rules in different competitions? It seems anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So any accidental handball in the build up to a goal will no longer affect the VAR decision about
It'll
it.
no longer be penalised
going forward from July. So I think they're trying to say, well, if this was in July, then it would have counted. Well, it's not July, is it? So
that whole thing is so silly. Just on the on what you can see. Okay, so he gains an advantage by like I've said, he uses the forearm to then strike a sweet volley. By the way, a sweet volley.
It was a really good finish.
Beautiful.
And at that time I just thought, look, they're checking something, but I mean, that sounds really cynical, but it seemed fine to me on first viewing, because I didn't see the forearm thing. This whole thing with rule changes, accidental handball. Well, accidental handball's still handball. I know it's a bit of a dangerous field to get into. Everyone's got opinions on it, but if you stop the ball from sort of getting to the attacker by outstretching a hand, but you kind of don't mean it, you've still handballed it. You've still blocked the ball in its path going to where it's going to be by using... and again, if you score a goal with your hand by accident, that's never standing. Yeah. By accident, it's never standing.
Because again, at the end of the day, you're still in control of your body. So
you should be. Something's gone wrong.
You need to be aware of where parts of your body are.
Does it count if Jose Mourinho is actually controlling Luke Shaw's body? Well, can we blame Jose for
with his voodoo, his Luke Shaw voodoo doll?
Yeah.
It's not just a goal in the build-up, though. Not just a goal in the build-up. That's not what I meant to say. It's not just a handball in the build-up, is it? It's also a handball that kind of sets up the chance for him as well. So it does gain an advantage quite significantly from it, doesn't it? But the interesting thing was none of our defenders A, wanted to go and tackle him or close him down or do anything, but B, none of them appealed. I didn't see any appeals from United players over a handball or any sort of decision. We were also, I thought it was being checked as a routine. They check most goals these days, so when it came up that it was handball, it was relief, but it was surprise to me personally from the first viewing, like James said.
My only thing about it was the fact that maybe, because obviously you look at it, no United defenders kind of react to it, but I think it's because they're slow to react about what's actually happening in front of them, because none of them seem to even think about putting a foot in or anything like that, so I think it's happened far too quickly for them to even register that's even happened.
They all left it to each other, didn't they? Like, Matic made a bit of an effort, and it's like Maguire and McTominay thought that Mike had it covered, and then suddenly he didn't, and then neither of them two pressed with enough urgency, and he got the shot off, not really quickly, but off his hand, and then
yeah, in real time, I think I'm struggling.
It looks worse slowed down.
I'm struggling to think of how they're actually going to notice that it is a handball from that point.
Anyway, not too much for us in the rest of the half. I mean, after about half an hour or so, like I say, we came into it more and had a few decent attacks, not too much, but we weren't on the back foot as much as we were for the first half an hour. Bruno played a lovely pass. I remember that. He put a little bit of swaz on it, and you didn't quite know where it was actually going, and he arced it out to Tellez, which was, I mean, I don't think it led to anything particularly, but it was a nice pass.
Yeah.
Nice moment. He struggled to get into the game in the first half. It didn't really have much of an impact, but he did a bit further on. Tellez puts a corner in, Bruno Fernandes flicks it on, and then Harry Maguire somehow misses. Now, do you have some sympathy for him there, Max?
I do. I have some sympathy. And if Savage on commentary for the BT commentary will have you believe that was the most ridiculous miss of anyone's career ever. But if you think about where the ball's going, how much space Maguire's got to manoeuvre with.
He has no angle, does he?
He has no angle. How the hell is he going to, all he can really do is hit it with any part of his leg that's not his foot. Because if he's putting his foot up, he's just essentially just kicking the post, isn't he? How is anyone going to get the foot up that quickly and get it down without smacking into a post?
I think
and do yourself some serious harm.
I think it happens quickly, doesn't it? But I think the argument against or for Maguire scoring there is that he could possibly angle his run and meet it earlier. Where it comes to him, he's just pretty much in line with the post, isn't it? And he literally has nowhere to go. It can't bounce off him in the direction of the goal. It can only hit him and hit the post.
True, but the flick on from Bruno isn't it doesn't take a lifetime to get to him. It's not got a lot of time to really put a lot of thought into how he's going to get to that ball. I need to get to that ball no matter how no matter what, and he does. But it just comes off his shin and then hits the post, which is it's ridiculously unlucky, really.
Yeah,
he's done well to get to the ball.
Yeah, my point being,
and he's not a finisher; he's a defender.
That's exactly my point. Yeah, a more nimble player. But
that's the kind of goal that Vardy would score every day.
Yeah, someone with natural attacking instincts would attack that earlier than Maguire. Someone faster than Maguire, just someone with them talents rather than that's that's his instincts and his natural ability. Yeah, so I think you'd just hope for someone else to be on the end of that. Really, what would you say about it, James?
I'd say the key word with that is anticipation, because the forwards you've mentioned, they've got that inbuilt anticipation to just react on the. Maguire clearly doesn't have that, but he's not a centre forward like you've said, and it does come at him at a strange sort of it's very close to the post as is, isn't it? So he's having to divert it sort of off course. I would say though, Bruno's put that in an ideal position, but it's just a silly. It's a silly little incident in the match, basically. That's all it is. It's, he doesn't need to be pilloried for it. It's just, he missed the chance, okay? And like I've said, he doesn't have the sort of shark-like instincts of someone like, Rashford had just sort of poke that way, wasn't he? Something like that, Someone just there to just because the goalkeeper did really well. I think he comes out, tries to get the ball, but obviously that's distracting to Maguire. I think it was the goalkeeper, but someone like made a jump ahead of Maguire, and it's clearly put him off a little bit. And then there you go, and it's just too late. Whereas a striker, Cavani, for instance, would anticipate whatever's in front of him missing it,
probably
so he can follow
in.
through. Yeah, so you sort of almost see two realities. It's almost like
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Cavani probably wouldn't have made the run as early as Maguire. So you got to think if Cavani's getting like a later connection with it, he could easily do like the sliding and little dinking with foot, as opposed to Maguire essentially getting almost his full body behind it.
he ran into it.
Yeah, because that's all he can anticipate doing. But again, he's not got the anticipation of a striker.
No,
does
so
he?
the long and short of it is we just had the wrong person in the right position at the right time. If you not the wrong time clearly, but
There's a
Maguire,
good chance for someone, maybe not Harry
not
Maguire.
Harry
but
Maguire.
not H. H dropped the ball there, didn't he?
Not Jacob H. No.
But
But
even another tall guy there, McTominay might have done it.
yeah, what I would say though about good old H is that he came out and owned it, didn't he? In his post-match, said he should be scoring, and that's fine. But it's nice to hear the captain say like, look, I effed up a little there, kind of thing. That's all it is,
That's what a captain should do, and that's good leadership. And by all accounts, he actually has shown good leadership within the club. But we'll get to leadership within the club a bit later in the podcast, because there's been some news this week, which we'll come back to.
Oh,
You're looking at me like you're surprised. Anyway, second half.
I'm just being the viewer. I'm just excited.
Oh, right, okay. The viewer is a podcast.
The ear viewer.
Also known as a listener. Okay, anyway, as ever, with these stupid kick-off times in the Europa League, coinciding with bad times for parents, I was missing for the first, I'm going to say 8 minutes of the first half this time, although I did pop my head in the room with the TV in at the exact time that Amad Diallo was popping a little header away. Lovely little header.
Delightful little header.
Chicharito, Javier
Esque.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Esque. Yes.
Now you took the words right out of my mouth and used them as your own. How dare you?
Me. I don't know why I keep singing recently, but
we want more of it though.
okay. It stayed in, by the way, last week.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, that was good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Good
So cheeky little Chicharito header from our little guy up front, Ahmad. It was
instinctive.
instinctive, and it was really it was mad to see, really. But I was very excited that it happened. I was kind of in a bit of shock when it went in because I was confused about what I'd just seen. But yeah, fair play to him. Yeah, I'm really impressed, and I'm glad he's got his first goal. So
Yeah,
we're all happy for him.
I mean, when I walked in, I didn't know who'd scored it because I didn't know that Ahmad had come on for Martial until I saw him wheeling away and was like, number 19, he's scored. Lovely.
You might not see him anyway because he was being buried by Eric Bailly.
Yeah, well, I foolishly came back into the room and wondered to myself, who's that jumping on him? And I was like, why am I even asking myself that? It's obviously Eric Bailly. Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, great little goal.
Excellent finish, weighted to perfection. The run, timed to perfection because he stayed well onside, as we've seen. Was that another Fernandez assist?
It was. And it was
Matthew, can you do me a favour? Can you file that under things we like to see?
Of course, every single time.
There you go. I was going to say debutant. He's not a debutant, but new kid, getting a goal in Europe, albeit the Europa League. File that under things we like to see as well, Matthew.
Will
and I think
do.
you'll find it in the top drawer.
Top drawer. Well, okay,
Yeah.
always. We really
Top
need to get ourselves a filing
You're
cabinet.
really relishing
signed.
this administrative
Well,
role,
yeah.
aren't
Well, you know what? I'm quite good at administrative roles. I think I'm quite good at it. So I'm happy to file loads of things, especially when it's things we like.
Well, things we like to see.
When we got our own dedicated studio room, we'll have a filing cabinet.
Oh, sick.
And then you can just slam it shut every episode.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to get an actual sound on my phone though for next time Connie does that, and I'm just going to play it into the mic.
Well, let's hopefully.
You could easily add it post production, but I don't care. I want the responsibility.
Oh my god.
I'll make a mental note to get a filing cabinet sound. Anyway,
No,
if
yeah.
you can remember
it was,
your point.
It was, it was a great goal. It was it was very joyful to see the new lad getting a goal, and of course he's got that really good relationship with Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly sees him as like a younger brother or something, doesn't he? So that's good. that explains how ecstatic Bailly was. We love to see that too.
He took him under his wing by all accounts, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and that was really, really nice. And of course, I'm going to sound really hipster here, but I've seen glimpses of him in the under 23s. So I know what he can do. But like he's a good finisher, and when he came to United, one of the sort of people on Sky Sports News that does the transfer things, it wasn't Jim White, it was someone without a yellow tie on. They sort of said, they went out on a limb and they said, like, well done, Ed Woodward, you have signed like this kid could be something really special. And he was like going out on a limb. He was saying like he's sort of got Ronaldo-esque qualities when he was that age too. Do you know when he made his debut against Bolton and he kind of excited the crowd and it was all tricks and all this moving one way and the next and sort of just having that. Yeah, I don't know, the wow factor, whatever you want to call it, and he was really excited about him. And what we saw there isn't necessarily evidence that that's going to come to fruition, but it was a really, really good goal, and it's promising for his future.
Yeah. I mean, he's looked bright and decent every time he's come on. Maybe not affected games as much as he'd like to, but he's still bedding in. He's obviously still very young. He's come from a different league, but he comes with a big reputation. He didn't play a great deal for Atalanta, but he does look decent. And we kind of had a makeshift attack for the rest of the game, didn't we? I mean, impressive that they still almost got the job done, and it was Ahmad that kind of did it for us. Obviously, it wasn't to be in the end, but yeah, another assist for Bruno Fernandes, a delicious ball over the top, and delivers again, unsurprisingly. But we didn't show too much after that, I don't think. I mean, Milan had a lot of the game after that, and we were kind of sat back for a lot of it. I think we were ready to pay on the counter with the attacking players that we had, with the pace of Diallo and the pace of Dan James and Greenwood and stuff. I think we were trying to sucker them in, but an equaliser looked like it was always going to come.
Yeah, and I think once we made the subs, it kind of cemented the fact that you felt like we were going to concede, because one thing I don't think we're very good at is changing the system when we've got a cushion of like a goal. When there's only a goal in it, and we try and change the system and try and play with a new tactic and a new formation, it just does not work. Yeah. Throwing on the extra defender never worked for us. So when we got the was it 3 changes? Was it? We got 3 big changes.
Yeah. So Williams, Shaw, and Fred came on for James, Fernandes, and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. So
we went to 3 at the back with initially Luke Shaw as a left centre back, and then Williams and Wan-Bissaka as wing backs.
Tellez as wing back.
Tellez as well.
Yeah, and although that probably would have suited us maybe throughout the game if we had to start with that formation, but no, it just you knew it weren't gonna. You knew it weren't gonna happen, and I don't really want to like attack any players and like get on the back of any players, but tonight was not the kind of game where you saw Matic was going to excel in, and I think he looked out of his depth at times. And his pace was completely off compared to a lot of the Milan players. We're playing like a young Milan team. Like, he looked like he was knackered, and it probably wasn't the wisest move keeping him on. Yeah,
I would, in the prediction, I put Fred and McTominay because I thought it might be energy needed. He did bring Fred on to join McTominay and Matic, but Fred was kind of playing and.
He was playing
like the false 9 role, like where Fernandes, he just came straight swap for Fernandes, really, weren't it? Everything else shifted around, the formation shifted around him, but yeah, Fred's energy came on, but yeah, might have been needed further back. But generally in the game, I think you're right. Yeah, Matic is showing his age on occasion. I mean, when we're having a lot of the ball, and when we're dominating sides, and he's got Paul Pogba alongside him, and we're trying to create from deep, and there's not too much trouble with counter-attacks in behind us and stuff. Matic is perfect for that sort of stuff, but yeah, and in situations where when we're being attacked quite heavily, and they've got young players, nippy players around him. Like, yeah, it's becoming more and more evident that he should be only used on certain occasions, but we haven't got much choice at the moment.
No, and I think I think the reason why I probably didn't start Fred is because obviously we know that West Ham's going to be a tough game, and I'm pretty sure we'll start Fred and McTominay against West Ham.
So, to skip a load of action, I suppose that all them changes were made about the 75th minute. Not too many chances to speak of for us. There was a Mason Greenwood cross for Dan James. It did come at him quite quickly, and he was stretching for it. Maybe you could argue that he could have scored that or could have done a little bit better with it. But that aside, not a lot of goal mouth action for us, especially later on in the game. And then it comes to the corner in the last minute where you're just looking for us to just see it out. Like 92nd minute. Corner comes in. Header comes in from 6 yards out. Should Dean Henderson do better? What I kind of feel that he's tried to make the save look harder than it is. A kind of one for the cameras. I'm not saying he's definitely done that, but the action that he makes for a ball that kind of comes to him at head height, really.
Do you want to know what reminds me of that? When I play football on a Monday night, and I play five-a-side, and I'm warming up, and I'm trying to throw myself around, try and get myself in the mood of like making stupid, like throw myself on the floor, so I get the courage to like dive around a bit. It reminds me of one of them stupid things I do to kind of just like way and just like an over-exaggerated version of a save.
It looked like
that's exactly what it looked like.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it looked like he was trying to exaggerate a routine save and it's gone wrong. I'm not saying that's definitely what's happened, but it looked like that.
I'll need to see it again.
His starting position would suggest that. Like, he's so low down, and he's not really. All he's done is essentially he's gone above his head as opposed to making himself big or going upwards. He's not really gone for the ball, and he's put up like one hand. When if he just stood up, he could have caught it. Quite easily caught it or punched it away. De Gea might have punched it away because we know De Gea likes punching stuff away, but it's a mistake, and he's going to make them. But that was a frustrating mistake.
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Well, I've spent all week praising the sort of command of his area that he had, especially against City. And I was making comparisons. I think it was on last week's pod. The fact that De Gea will sometimes sort of stay on his line and trust himself to save it. Sometimes, rather than coming out and claiming or punching or whatever. And on this occasion, I was looking. See, this is brilliant because there's two perspectives at play here. So you're looking at, should the goalkeeper do better? Maybe he should, but I will have to see it again because I was too concentrated on it was Simon Kjær who scored. So like who was marking him? I think McTominay was half marking him, and he got like the better of him. McTominay, if it was McTominay, I'm pretty sure it was. And like he's bigger and stronger than that. Like he really should at least be just sort of keeping him honest, if that's the right kind of phrase. Just and Kjær gets the header away, and I was sort of pointing my frustrations more at like the marking and the fact that United never ever seem to be able to get over the line. When it's really tight like that, we seem to never be able to come away with the. When our backs are against the wall, there's that frailty there still. So I don't know how you change that. But yeah, with the Henderson thing, I definitely need to see it again because every single replay I saw, I was sort of watching Kjær and thinking like, he's got a bit of freedom there, and it's last seconds of the game, and it's just
a disappointing one. I mean, I think we have to accept that we're going to get this as well with Dean Henderson, that he's coming into a new role, potentially filling the role entirely going forward, depending on what happens with De Gea. And I've said before that just because De Gea goes doesn't mean that we're mistake free. Henderson will still make them. He's got mistakes in him. He's obviously younger and more inexperienced than De Gea. Yeah, you just hope that he hasn't made something that is actually routine, tried to make it look harder, for no good reason. Hopefully, he hasn't done that.
It's hard. It's hard to think.
It's just a genuine error.
It's hard to think that he has done that, but it just looks like that.
Yeah.
Like, and as a keeper myself, it looks more like that to me. But I'd hate to think if he actually would do that, because then that shows some serious naivety on his part.
Yeah.
Especially when the fact that Solskjaer's all he's done is talked about how mature he is these days and how much he's grown up and how much he's adjusting to being in the first team. And that'd be kind of like a slap in the teeth to Solskjaer if he's treating high pressure situations like that.
Yeah,
in that manner, then he's not. Then is he?
Yeah, well, I definitely doubt that it's that. It's just how it looks, because it's all slowed down and stuff like that.
And if he does slap Ollie in the teeth, I hope he exaggerates it rather than going full force.
Yeah, like I'll hit him with a big fish or something.
Yeah.
Can I put a question to you, Simon?
You can do.
Because you are a father now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that De Gea will make a choice now at the end of this season to leave United and maybe go home to Spain and sign for a Spanish club? With the situation that he has with his newborn and with his wife, who is a journalist. Is that what she does in Spain?
No, she's a singer, she's a pop star.
Right, but obviously she'll be. Well, she probably will be busy because pop never sleeps. Everyone knows that. So, do you reckon this is the thing where De Gea might not want to miss as much valuable time with his child? Do you reckon that might signify him leaving at the end of the season, or will he maybe do another season, because obviously not a lot happens in the first year apart from lots of screaming, pooing and weeing and that. Obviously coming from a father, because obviously me and myself and James are fathers, so we can't really have that life experience and that life opinion.
Yeah, see, I don't know, because I always bring like the Harry Kane rumours that came out a bit ago, like Madrid want him and X-Club wants him. And I always thought, from my perspective, I thought Harry Kane's not going to leave England, I don't think, with young kids that are going to be starting school and stuff like that. I doubted that he would uproot them, and he obviously hasn't gone anywhere just yet. Same with Rooney, when there was rumours that he was going to go to China. I was like, there's no way that Rooney is taking his 4 lads and Colleen over to China. There's no way that he's going over there on his own for a year and just ditching,
oh God, he would cause all kinds of havoc all there on his own.
Ditching family responsibilities. America was more palatable for them. Yeah, that's less of it's a big uprooting anyway, but it's still the same language and all that.
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
there's not many barriers going to America.
So I think them sort of things do play a part in like what decisions footballers make. And obviously, I think De Gea's been over here living separately. I don't think she's moved over here at any point. I might be wrong on that.
That's why I'm pretty sure she hasn't.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, is this going to be a situation where he's not going to want to live over here when his newborn is over in Spain?
Well, there's rumours of. I'm sure I read a rumour of United looking at Jan Oblak, who is the Atletico Madrid keeper currently. And obviously that is where De Gea came from. So whether there's something in that, I'm not one for transfer rumours or anything like that really normally, but there could be a chance that he wants to be close to Rome because he wants to go to Spain, but where does he, other than Atletico, possibly? Real Madrid wanted him, didn't they? But I don't know how Courtois is doing these days. Ter Stegen's at Barca. I don't think any of them ditch their keepers currently, so other than Oblak moving on from Atletico Madrid, his options are limited, but maybe in the coming years, yeah, possibly. There's probably a decision to be made, because I don't think you'll get away with not having an input as a parent for that much of the year every single week.
Yeah.
Like surely something's got to give in his home life, in his family life. So,
do you think that might have been the decision of why United decided to give Henderson a contract, a big contract at the start of the season, with maybe in mind that De Gea and his wife were expecting?
Possibly. The relationship that Solskjaer has with his players is reportedly, pretty close and pretty. They can come to him about most things. He always stresses the human element of of players, and that's what he said last week, that there's a human in there, and Davy wanted to go back, and we'll always respect that, and that's it's the biggest day of your life, and obviously so Solskjaer's obviously clued up on stuff like that in terms of the man management thing, so maybe there was half an eye on that sort of stuff. I mean, there was that sort of stuff with, is Pogba leaving, is that why Van der Beek say, that sort of forward planning. So possibly all that could play into it. I mean, we'll see. De Gea's got a long contract on a big wage, so getting shut of him, if they want shut of him, is going to be difficult anyway. Unless if he has designs to move somewhere, I mean, there's got to be a club that wants him. So who knows? So anyway, shall we wrap this game up, and then we'll come back and talk about West Ham and the little bit of news that United have got a director of football and a technical director. We'll see you after the break. Hello, it's Simon again. I'm just here to quickly tell you listeners where to find us on social media. We're The Devil's Trident on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter at Devil's Trident. You can also keep up to date with us at thedevilstrident.com. Okay, on with the show. Right, so we're back. So the first thing we want to address is finally the news that United have got a director of football, or a football director. It's not actually being called a director of football. I don't know if there's anything in that, or if there's a difference, or what. But
lots of money. There's not as much of it.
Maybe director of football. Yeah, maybe if you take a word out, you get to pay him a few less grand a year.
Assistant to the director of football.
Yeah. Just stand behind Ed Woodward.
Bloody good man.
It might be that. And a technical director. Now, we know the technical director well, not personally, but Darren Fletcher.
Woo!
So he was first team coach. Well, he was doing under 18s work, I think, for a few months prior to, like, a few months ago. He changed his role to a first team coaching role. And he's been seen viewing the games from up high in the stands with the analysts, I believe. And I think for both of these roles, they've kind of just retitled people's job roles really, and kind of added a little bit of extra responsibility in there because they're all internal appointments. But it's good to see Darren Fletcher get a role within the club and of obviously increasing importance. And he was rumoured for director of football long ago, like when Jose was here. So it all feels like a long time coming. John Murtaugh, I don't know how you say his name.
I want to call it Murtaugh, as in like from what, Lethal Weapon.
Briggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's how you say it.
I tweeted that last night on the account. I said Murtaugh and Fletch sounds like a bad 70s cop drama, but is that why I've got that in my head?
Probably, yeah.
It is indeed, yeah.
Because obviously, because of Always Sunday, I think you'll probably
That's
more.
it.
It's just missing Eric Clapton guitar riff shredding over.
Is it exactly the same name? Is that
No, it's what's his first name?
No, I just mean his last name. Is it the same last
Oh,
name?
Murtaugh, yeah.
Oh, is that how you spell it and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So that is definitely why I thought that then.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, yeah, I found it hard to have too much of an opinion on this from the outset, in that, like Paul from No Question About That tweeted yesterday, whether you saw it or not, we don't know how football clubs run, the inner workings of it. How can we say that this guy is not suited to do this or do that? By all accounts, John Murtaugh has been involved in the development and the restructuring of the academy, from what I've read, and along with Nicky Button, which is bearing fruit, and they've kind of been cherry picking like some of the best talent around Europe to put into the academy, like Hannibal Mabry and Amad Diallo coming through, and Palestri and all that sort of stuff, and going in the right direction youth-wise. Obviously Mason Greenwood, Williams coming through. So, by all accounts, he's a United fan as well. So he's, you think his heart's in the right place, along with Darren Fletcher, and I suppose it may take a bit of responsibility away from Ed Woodward, which is presumably a good thing on terms of, not on the football front, that it's football men that are going to be dealing with recruitment. Solskjaer's still going to be involved in it as much as he is already anyway. I think it's a positive thing. I think we can only go into it with, with hope that it's the right move, really.
Yeah, it's good, and everyone likes Darren Fletcher, don't
Yeah.
they? Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze, but I didn't. No, it's really good. Darren Fletcher is. I've got a fun fact about Darren Fletcher, actually. My cousin John, in about 2003 or 4, stood behind him at a Britney Spears concert. So
Nice.
there you go. Sorry, I was
Big Britney fan.
But yeah, so it's good. It's really good. It's been a long time coming, of course, and to have internal appointments, it's good. And might be people outside the club might have their opinions on it, but it doesn't matter. It's
I think the accusation that is being levelled at them is it's jobs for the boys, and it's not really doing it. It's half-assed doing it, but
it's not like you could have gone for a really glamorous one, like you just put Rio Ferdinand in the role. Or whatever, and then you're ticking a lot of boxes.
That was what was rumoured, weren't it?
Yeah, and again, but then you've got that argument of, is Rio Ferdinand any less of a good choice than Darren Fletcher? Like, it's not a tangible thing, like we don't know yet, but in a few months and in a couple of years, we'll know. But Darren Fletcher he talks well. I guess that's one of the only tangible things you can take from it. Like, talks well about the game when he's interviewed and things like that. Yeah. Gave his all for the club. Never stopped.
He's an absolute football nerd by all accounts.
Yeah. So I'm fine. I'm on board with it. I'm fine. Yeah.
As a technical director, Solskjaer said yesterday that Fletcher will still be involved in some coaching as well. Maybe not as much, but still involved in that side. So it seems to me that Solskjaer's formed his own little team of people that he trusts anyway, and they've kind of gone with, the people who he likes and what's kind of working, because I think there's evidence that since Solskjaer came in, recruitment's been better, and the academy system's been better, and all that sort of stuff is kind of falling into place. So why meddle with that too much by bringing in someone from the outside and maybe someone that doesn't have the philosophy of the club?
Yeah, and you also need. I did joke at the start about obviously Murtagh being paid less money, but it's obviously a big factor as well. Like, you need to take consideration these people are going to be on a lot of money, but you probably don't have to pay people that are already embedded in the club as an internal employee as much as you would do out. Imagine trying to pull Van der Sar from Ajax.
Well,
that would cost an insane amount of money, and we're not in that situation where we can be doing that. And I don't think any club really is in that position where they can be splashing out money for people behind the scenes doing them kind of jobs. We need to be realistic with what our expectations are going forward in the current climate.
Yeah.
Even also we're going to get that because a lot of fans probably don't grasp the concept about what goes into running the club and the money involved, the actual money side of it that's involved. Trust me, I've got people, I know people who actually work for United and work in the finance department, and it's not all sunshines and rainbows. It's not. And I'm not saying we're up shit creek, but what I'm saying is we're not in the best financial situation compared to what we have been in the past.
Yeah, well, we're not going to...
Because we're not going to be, because no one is, because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and also...
Because it's unprecedented times, which I have to throw that in there, of course, but...
And the Glazers is a big factor as well.
But I mean, even regardless of that, it stems from stuff like sponsors not paying money on time and stuff like that, which obviously affects the whole operation going forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might be one of these things where Woodward step in and sever ties with certain sponsors, which again it affects revenue, and it all affects the way the club runs. So
hopefully it works. Like there's, as I said before, we don't. As much as people can criticise, we just don't know what it takes to run a football club from the inside, and we don't know the job that any of these people have been doing behind the scenes really. All we know is the bits that we read in the papers that may or may not be true. So I think the proof will be in the punch, and we'll see how things develop over the next few years. But you're right, there probably is an element of maybe a bit of saving money with internal appointments. I mean, Solskjaer gets a fraction of what Mourinho got paid. but I am led to believe. I think Mourinho was on mega money, and Solskjaer currently, as it stands, isn't on
A pack of 1p shoes.
Yeah,
Makes sense because like Mourinho was like the Hollywood land, wasn't it? Of like, let's I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
You go from paying Fergie a ridiculous
maybe,
amount of money to Moisey not a lot, to then back up to Van Gaal, and then Jose there or thereabouts, and then back down to
Jose will be easily the most highest paid. No, he'll have been above Van Gaal without knowing the facts and figures. Yeah, Mourinho gets paid wherever he goes. He gets paid.
He gets paid and he gets laid.
Gets his walking around money.
Yeah, so that little bit of news, positive, obviously, from a Darren Fletcher perspective, and I think from the sounds of it, Solskjaer is on board with it because it's people he knows and trusts. So let's just see how it goes and not all pile in and go, oh, it's not Van der Sar, it's not a big name appointment, it's internal. Whatever. Give it a chance before you get your knickers in a twist.
Yeah.
All right? I think, anyway. You can disagree if you want. Not you two. You have to agree. But you as a listener, you can disagree. Anyway, should we get to the West Ham game quickly? I mean, we didn't play them that long ago. Not too much has changed other than the fact we have a extensive injury list. They're going well, though. They gave City a good game the other day. Who did they beat on Monday? Leeds, 2-0. They look a good, solid side, West Ham. You kind of know who's going to play from now. Like, they've got an expected sort of lineup, really. Well, at least I've been paying attention to him more, I think, since Jesse went down there.
But he won't be able to play again,
he's definitely, unlike Delors tonight, who did play, Jesse Lingard will not be eligible, no. He's not. That's the rules of this competition that he's not allowed to, so.
Which is good, though, because he's kind of like a danger man at the moment for West Ham.
He is. He won a penalty the other day, on Monday. Just generally looked dangerous. Look, he new lease of life down there, like we said, so. Home tie. I personally think it just depends on who's fit. I think we need some players back badly.
Should we see if Agalo's wants to play?
I have to call him back from Saudi Arabia or wherever he is. Yeah,
if we can get him back, we might be all right. But
it's honestly typical, isn't it? Like a month later from him going, we now have no forwards fit.
It could have played as well. This could have been a situation where it could have actually played.
We need Jamojo back.
Yeah,
like Guardiola.
Let's see if he'll loan him. Let's see if
and you've got Jamojo back.
It's to be fair, if we kind of have like a mix of the team we had tonight, we could see Diallo starting though. Which, I mean, it's not too much of a risk really. If he's slowly integrated into the team, and maybe a full game under his belt might really bring out the best in him. We never know.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a risk starting him, but I think if we're missing two of Rashford, Cavani, and Martial, you just worry about options off the bench as well. I think it's. I mean, I think by the sound of it, Cavani stands a chance and Rashford stands a chance. He will risk Rashford if he needs to. He's proven that pretty much for the last 18 months that if Rashford is almost fit, semi-fit, 60% fit, he'll play. So
let's see if he can fit his foot in a boot.
Yeah.
He might have to get him one of them big thingy boots. Them big like space boots.
Yeah. You get some Nike ones of that. Yeah. What are you thinking, James? Are you worried about it?
I'm slightly worried about it, yeah, because they're tricky customers, these. Going back to Rashford, have you noticed there's always a little bit of the game? There's always about 20 seconds in a game where Rashford's got a pained look on his face and he's sort of sat awkwardly. It's every game he gets hurt, doesn't he? And he goes through the pain and...
He had that bad back injury, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he's been managing a shoulder issue that he had, I think, since he fell off the pitch at Leicester.
Yeah, he always seems to be carrying injuries, but he plays through them most of the time, so yeah, I could see him playing if he's a percentage fit, you know? Yeah. And then if all else fails, we could go full Pep Guardiola and just have sort of Fred playing false nine. Hopefully he has lots of shoots. Yeah. I don't know. We'll just get the Tom Bowler out, just because the thing is, the injuries we've got. Anyone could play. Not Van der Beek, clearly. Even if he is fit. No,
What
never.
about Mata? What's wrong with Mata again?
He's not. He's
They're
gone.
not specifying. They never specify anything about Mata's problems at the moment. I don't know if he's got something going on off the pitch. That's just pure speculation. I'm gonna
Possibly. Because, I mean, that might be a situation where he could kind of come back into the team.
Yeah,
If
it's
he's
just
fit.
I might have missed it, and Solskjaer might have said he's got this injury or he's got that injury, but I've not heard him say what's wrong with Mata. Whereas,
generic injury number 1.
yeah, but whereas with the other players, we kind of know it's Van der Beek's got a muscle strain, and Pogba's got similar, and it's obviously Rashford's ankle and stuff. I can't remember what was wrong with Cavani. He had a muscle strain when he was out, and then came back, and then he's out again. So presumably it's that again.
Maybe he's got sore, chiseled cheekbones.
Mata's beard is too nice to be risked on the pitch. No one should touch it. No touching of the hair or face. But would Van der Beek play the anchorman?
Ooh.
If he played. But we're not seeing Van der Beek, are we? But West Ham, yeah, they're dangerous. I don't know. Hopefully we win the game, but
It's kind of hard to preview anything with this game, not knowing who on earth is going to be able to play for us. I mean, if we're starting with the team we finished with today, and then not having any of the other players available to come off the bench, and I don't even know who fills our bench if we start with what we're not finished with tonight, but the fit players, like say the half-time lineup, so Ahmad instead of Martial. We've not got Shaw will come in from the start. Lindelof will probably come in back in for Bailly, but it's still the same 3 midfielders and then 3 forwards essentially. If Martial is out and the others are still out, it's Ahmad, James, and Greenwood, and there's not any other choices other than Shoretiri he's not going to start, is he? So
No.
yeah, I think. Hard to preview the game, but I think we need some players back if we're going to get a win from it. And I think we need a win from it because Chelsea got Leeds. It's winnable for them. It's not guaranteed.
Is it at Leeds?
I have that in my notes. Hang on. No, it's at Chelsea. So City have got Fulham away, but City are kind of out of sight anyway, aren't they? Leicester have got Sheffield United at home, so you'd think that's a result. And Tottenham have got Arsenal away, which is less guarantee of points for Tottenham, shall we say?
Are we still really worried about Tottenham or not?
I think Tottenham actually stand a chance again because they've got a game in hand, haven't they? So they're not. If they win that game in hand, they're not too far off it. West Ham have got a game in hand on us, so if they're 6 points behind with a game in hand, so
Yeah, we could definitely do a win in that one, couldn't we?
Yeah, so if they came to us and won the game in hand, it gets sketchy again. It's going to be like this for the rest of the season, though, isn't it? It's just going to be.
Oh, it's going to be exciting, isn't it?
It's going to be exciting. A lot of the top 6 kind of play each other. So, the top 8 or 9, really. There's plenty of teams that are still in with a shout to get top 4. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But hard to preview it, like I say, with the uncertainty over injuries. So I think we'll leave it there. We may be back on Sunday, depending on whether I get away with having Sunday night off Mother's Day.
Well, you're not a mother.
I'm not a mother, and we're doing something during the day, so I'm going to be watching the game either way, but whether I'll get away with the full-scale game, podcast, and sacking her off upstairs.
The whole Ma Day. Happy Ma Day.
Yeah, well.
Give her a big old Bailers and...
Bukayo Saka's coming round, apparently. Saka upstairs. Hopefully not.
No, I'm not.
I mean,
Oh,
It's not that kind of relationship. Anyway, I've been Simon. He has been Matt. Have you got any Italian for me?
ciao.
Ciao Bella again, yeah.
Oh, good. Ciao Bella by Beautiful.
Beautiful man.
Okay, ciao Bella.
Thank you. James.
Ciao Bella to you too, James.
I'm James.
Yeah.
But I'm also Harry Maguire. Disappointing tonight. Should have scored, but, if you want more from the Devil's Trident, stay posted.
I didn't know you were going to finish then.
Wise
We have
word
been the
from
Devil's
Hit.
Trident podcast, and we will see you next week at some point. See you later.
Bye.